What is up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing amazing. This is me and Kazi, and we are today going to be talking about the origin of how PWJ came about. Like how it all got started, and how I started working with you guys too.
Yeah, I think this is exciting. We decided not to even prepare for this and just like kind of talk, but man, it was a pretty crazy journey.
It was.
I remember how Profit with JavaScript started was like, I think I was at WeWork and I had learned Photoshop.
Yeah.
And I just like made this thumbnail.
Yeah.
With the JavaScript logo in there.
Yeah.
And I wrote kick-ass JavaScript.
Yeah.
And I called up Nas. And I was like,
No.
okay.
Hold on, but before we get into that, bro.
Okay, cool.
Let's get into like let's go from the beginning, kind of how it all started. Like
Got it.
how I kind of came about to work with you guys and how we realized that JavaScript could be like interesting or cool potentially, right?
Yeah.
Like what I remember is, so I was kind of coding, I was doing freelancing at the time, right? And I was, on Instagram, and I put my stuff out on Instagram. And I saw Kazi, and I saw your guys' posts, right? I'm like, oh shit, these guys.
You found me from Instagram?
I found you on Instagram. Yeah.
Not from YouTube?
From Instagram.
But not from YouTube?
Not from YouTube. From Instagram. You
Instagram.
didn't know that, bro? I found you on Instagram. I'm like, oh shit, this guy's interesting. But I was like, I'm a little bit skeptical at the same point. I don't know why. I was a little bit skeptical, like what you guys were doing, But then, like, I remember, like, you started messaging in comments and just like DMing at the same time. And then you're like, bro, let's get on a call together,
Yes.
Let's get on a call and like let's do a live call.
Yeah, that was the random thing that we decided to do. I was like, hey, let's do a live Instagram live together. You said yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I went live. I remember still, I was right outside of Barbell Brigade, which is a gym in LA.
Okay.
And I went for a walk. I went live on Instagram, and then I saw you got on there too.
Yeah.
So you sent a request, I accepted it.
Right.
And boom, we were live on Instagram speaking.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I always thought you were like, he was like 30 years old and married.
And he had kids, I think
no
you
idea.
told me.
And you had like 2 or 3 kids. I don't know why.
Do I look that old? Do I look this old, guys?
I just think you really have your life together. And I think just like randomly made me feel like you were already married or something,
Okay. Maybe I am.
It's like a compliment almost.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks for that.
So we got on the live,
Yeah.
we were talking, and then all of a sudden, the next thing I knew, like we kind of just became friends right on that call.
Yeah, I think I realized, I'm like, holy shit, like these guys are cool. I actually remember Frankie was filming too. And I was, just to give you context, I was in Michigan at that time, and you guys, of course, are in LA. But I was in Michigan, and I was just kind of in my room. And I thought, like, holy shit, these guys are cool, and like, we were delivering value to people. What were we talking about? We're talking about, like, what?
We were talking about web development. We were talking about coding. I mean, there were just
And like live journey, I think, like developer coding journey.
Yeah, like a journey. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that point, I'm like, oh shit, these guys are cool. I love their vibe. I love everything. And at that point, like, we kind of stopped talking after that. Like, we didn't, touch base too much after that, right? It was just commenting on an Instagram post and so forth.
Yeah.
And what?
Yeah, I think after that live stream, we had that, like, connection built.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember, how did it come about that you were going to fly in?
So, that was interesting. I actually registered for a conference called PopCon Conference, which is in Las Vegas. And because I was doing freelance, I was trying to find clients.
Oh my God!
What?
I remember. Okay.
You remember now?
I want to talk.
Yeah. And I was trying to find clients, and I literally went to that conference, right? And I had my tickets back to Michigan right at that when the conference finished, right? But I don't know, for some reason, like I was like, I don't know. Like when I went to Vegas, I was like, I'm already here. I'm like so close to Cali. I've always wanted to visit Cali, and I know these guys are in Cali. Why not just go?
You hit me up, and I remember it was like the most random time, and you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna be coming by."
Yeah.
And then you said, "Can I stay with you guys or something?"
Yeah.
And I remember we were in the middle of doing a launch or launching another product, because we were doing lots of product launches that year. So we launched like Earn 1K with Python in terms of products.
Right.
I remember seeing that message, and I was in between a yes or a no.
Right.
I loved your energy. I wanted to hang out with you, but the whole team, I'm like, what are you gonna do with us? Because we're just gonna be working the whole time.
Really?
Yes.
You actually thought about that?
Yeah,
Really?
so I'm like, we're gonna be working the whole time. Like,
Okay.
I want to make sure, because one time I had Tenzin come and we were just working the whole time. So he was like, he wasn't upset, but I felt bad because I'm like,
Because you're not spending enough time. Like,
we're not
with
spending
them.
any
Yeah, yeah,
time
yeah,
with
yeah,
him, you
I
know? So I'm
that.
like, we might not spend any time with you. So like, I thought, and I remember writing a message, like kind of explaining that we might not be able to meet.
Really?
Yes. And
No fucking way.
Yes.
I actually did not know that.
I remember then holding delete, like I selected it all.
No way.
I hit delete, and I just said,
What?
let's go! And I hit send.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
I felt like that was the moment that changed
serious?
everything. Yeah.
That is the moment. I remember I was in Las Vegas, and I didn't tell you. Like, I think I told you this a day before I actually came to Cali. I was in Las Vegas, and I was in a hotel room. Like, fuck, I'm gonna decide right now and actually decide to go to Cali. I canceled my tickets back to Michigan. I got another ticket to go to Cali, and my friend who actually went to Vegas for me, he went back to Michigan. But I was like, okay, and I went to Cali. And I remember messaging you, hey bro, I'm gonna be in Cali. Can I stay at your place? I'm like, yeah, let's do it, man. I'm like, oh shit, that's awesome.
Dude, we might be able to find those messages.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's hilarious. But yeah, like, and then of course I arrived in Cali and so forth. He gave me, the address. I arrived and so forth.
We were trying like doing Instagram lives with developers. We were trying like
I remember that.
Gary
I
V
actually
style
remember that.
shooting those lives with developers.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that we were gonna create these amazing relationships, these amazing friendships as a result of it. I just thought like, just like an Instagram live. I didn't really think about it that much.
Yeah.
And then so we were trying a lot of random things, and then Nas came over. We hit it off like right away.
Dude, I remember to this day, literally. But you know what's so funny though is that I arrived at your place and you're like, bro, I'm not there. I was really waiting there for like 15 minutes. I was waiting for you, and then you're like, oh bro, yeah, I'm at this coffee shop, and so I had to go to the coffee shop with my luggage. With my luggage. It was like, I'm not sure what coffee place that was, but I remember. And I met you, Frankie, first. And I remember I was kind of sitting there and I see Frankie. I'm like, oh, bro, what's up, man? How you doing, And like, we started talking. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, we hit it off right away. Like, we became friends. There are a lot of people where I speak with them and I'm like, something is off. Like, my humor is off with them or something just doesn't feel right. It feels like a car that's just like, it's stuck in the mud and it's like, things are not landing, it's not clicking. But I remember with you, with Nas, like we started talking, we just became friends kind of instantly because we both had really high energy. We were both focused on like growth. We were both hungry and looking for more. And so we hit it off really well and became friends kind of right away.
Yeah, that was cool. And then of course we went to your place, and then at that point I think I met Aaron as well when Aaron came over. Yeah. And I just kind of saw the things that you guys are doing, and I saw the content you guys were making, and literally I think remember the second day. No, I slept over at your place, right, on the couch. Yeah. It was fucking cold. Oh, remember? It was fucking cold as fuck. This guy likes to keep his room like cold.
65 degrees at night,
I remember it was so cold. But yeah, and then the next day we went to WeWork. Yeah. And we just started working.
Yes.
And then for the next. And here's the crazy part, bro. My plan was actually to be there for a few days and then go back to Michigan. I ended up being in California for a whole month. Oh. Yeah. I had to find, pretty much a whole month. I think it was like 3 weeks and something and a half.
Yeah, he ended up staying, I think, for a while.
Yeah, not at your place, but I got a bunch of Airbnbs. Like I tried one Airbnb, then tried another Airbnb.
That.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing was we didn't talk anything about a JavaScript product at that time.
No.
No, it wasn't at that time. So like he was there, we hung out, we did a lot of cool shit. We like went to some coffee shops, went on long walks, talked, just I remember you would jump into whatever we were doing. He would work really hard.
Wait, but at this point you were also opposed to a JavaScript product.
Oh, because you guys are just Python.
You didn't really not even do it. You were opposed to it.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to do a JavaScript product.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, we gotta stick to Python. Like it has to be Python. It has to be on brand. What are you doing? Like, what are you talking about? And I remember you were like, let's do something with JavaScript or something, But I remember another thing. Like I hit it off with people really well. Even when I think of my best and closest friends, it's not just from like having conversations with them where I become really good friends with something, is we do something in common.
Yes.
So for example, some of my best friends, I remember playing ping pong. I play one game with them up to 400 points.
Holy
Like it would be
shit.
like insane.
That's crazy.
Or some other my best friends, like we became friends over chess. Some friends became friends over work, like hard ass work. That's how I felt about Frankie and Aaron, and that's how I felt like I bonded with you a lot. We would work really hard. Like we would get to WeWork and just, I mean, we worked. You know what I'm saying?
We actually really cool is I remember we went to a conference. It was like Ty Lopez conference. Remember? We booked a conference ticket. We went to a conference.
Oh yeah, with Gary Vee.
Yeah, and then you worked. Yeah, Gary Vee was there, and then we actually got to work together there. Like, I remember, like you all huddled up. I'm like, okay, guys, let's focus. What are we actually gonna do? And I was like pumped. Like,
Was that the JT Fox?
Yeah.
was that what?
Yeah.
Was it?
He was there when he saw
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, and it was so much fun. What I realized is like, I'm like, I love this team. You guys are doing crazy stuff, and I love the energy. And I'm like, oh shit, this is something interesting. I want to be part of that, you know. And interesting enough, in my mind, I was starting to think about, okay, maybe I want to talk to him potentially, like about potential, like a JavaScript problem. I never said anything though, right?
Yeah.
So like something in my mind was, I had that thought in my mind, but I never said anything.
Yeah.
And I think after a month, like, you know, I think we all bonded. We went to did some cool stuff. We went to virtual, what's it called, VR. You know, and that was fun. And then. Yeah. And then I went back to Michigan.
Yeah, so he went back, and I think for a little bit of time, like we just went back to like back at work at Clever Programmer. We started doing these really long tutorials because we had just recently gone to a YouTube conference, and we came back and we're like, we gotta explode the YouTube channel again. You know, YouTube channel is dying. So we started seeing like. We saw Mosh putting out these amazing, shout out to Mosh, like these crazy long tutorials, and I was like, you know what, we gotta do these tutorials. And so we started putting out amazing long form tutorials, and then the channel started growing again. Also, I remember at this time I was going crazy over thumbnails. I'm like, you know what, you can make the best content on the planet, but it will get no viewership. So like, we gotta get serious about this thumbnail thing. It's not a joke anymore. We can't just get random editors. Let's learn it. So I started opening up Photoshop, started learning how to make thumbnails. Everybody was like, you know, what are you gonna do with this thumbnails? Like, why are you learning Photoshop? Like, you're not gonna get anything out of this. And I remember I'm like, no, like, just let me do this, let me play around with it. And I was sitting at WeWork one day, really late at night, 1 or 2 a.m., playing around, put an image, dragged the JavaScript logo,
Oh, no way.
put it right next to the image, wrote kick-ass JavaScript. That's what I was gonna think to call the product. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. I just like, it was like visualized it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it looked awesome.
yeah, I was
yeah.
like, oh my God. And I remember I just like told Frankie and Aaron, I was like, guys, we have to do this. And that was the day, I think I woke up the next day and I was like, hey Nas. He was like, what's up? I'm like, want to make a JavaScript product?
And I was like, I remember this, and he called me up, and I was literally like laying in bed. It's so funny. I was laying in bed. He was like, bro, let's do a JavaScript product, man. And I was like, literally like a second later or like 10 seconds later, bro, let's do it.
Yeah. He had zero hesitation, like
Yeah.
no hesitation at all. He literally like was just ready to go. He's like, yes. He's like, let's do it. Let's work on a JavaScript product. It was kind of like, it surprised me. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. And that's cool, because I was like, I've always wanted to teach, and I've always wanted to, you know, to share what I know. And I know with these guys and the energy that they have, I know that collectively we could just do some crazy stuff. Like I just knew that internally, and especially when you have a good bond, it's not, you know, when you have a good bond, then the energy just gets created automatically, and you know that's like a good partnership, and and it's a good way to work together. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say that, yeah, so it was like brotherhood,
Yeah.
and literally getting to work on something special that could impact so many people.
Yeah,
That's cool as fuck. I remember I was driving, and we're both so psychotic, like, and I love that about him too, because I'm like relentless with shit, so I'm not like, oh my God, it's 8 p.m. now I have to turn off and watch Netflix. Like, no, like it's go time, kind of all the time.
Yeah.
And I remember I called you at like 9 or 10 p.m. I was driving, and we started working on the JavaScript modules in Google Docs
I remember that.
while I was driving.
I
I was like, bro, send me the Google Docs, and I'm like, driving, like, oh, sorry, broke your mirror. And I'm like, I have the phone here, Google Docs open, and I was like, you share it? I'm like, all right, give me editing permissions. And we started coming up with modules and video titles on the spot.
On the call, yeah. I remember that. That was really awesome. I opened up the document and I was like, okay, bro, let's think about this. What are we gonna do? Module 1, we should do some intro, right? Module 2, maybe do like going to advanced JavaScript, right? I mean, we're thinking about crazy projects, what to do.
Yeah.
That was epic.
That was really, really cool, because even from the start, what we thought about is we constantly kept thinking about what is a transformation that we could put somebody through, and we purely focus on like there shouldn't be a single module that doesn't have projects, because I am so sick and tired. I was so sick and tired of going through so much crap
And just doing theory.
doing theory, because I would get left and I'm like, why did I learn like the theory behind SQL? But it was almost like I always felt like I got baited and switched. It was like, you're gonna make this, you're gonna do this, and then I would leave and I would just have theory, and I'd be like, so what am I supposed to do with like raw SQL in Python? Like, why did they teach me raw SQL in Python? Like, there's a fucking ORM. Like, I could have just started writing, you know what I mean? Like, been having a conversation with the database. Just teach me. So,
ORM.
yeah, so it's like, let's say you want to become a racer, and all they keep teaching you is like, how do you make a car? How do you manufacture the parts? Like, the math behind the physics. And you're like, I just want to race, bro. I just want to race.
Here's what a car is made up of. All these parts, and you just keep learning that nonstop. You know, like that doesn't get you anywhere.
So like, I was so frustrated. I wanted to make sure that every single thing had a project. I remember I was talking to you and I was like, let's think about projects first.
Yes, and I remember we also talked about like, bro, we need to do this differently than like Udemy or something like that, you know, because like Udemy, yes, is great, but we're like, okay, but we want to take this into where we create a community, where we really make a transformation. And I don't remember how did we come about with the Profit with JavaScript, like the actual like name? Like, how did that come about?
I remember that I was sitting there and the kick-ass JavaScript, I liked it, but it didn't really sit well with me.
Oh yeah, there was kick-ass JavaScript.
And we kept brainstorming, and I kept thinking, I don't know necessarily whose idea it was. I mean, I like to think it was mine, but you know,
I don't remember,
probably it's gonna be like, you know, it's so long I don't remember. But like, I remember that somehow we came up with the idea of like between kick-ass JavaScript and Profit with JavaScript, because I wanted to focus on what was the result that it got and what made it stand out from everything else. Another reason with kick-ass was I was like, is Facebook gonna let us run ads on kick-ass, because ass is a bad word, so they might not allow it. But I wanted to make sure that it focused on the actual transformation that people got. So I wanted to go, okay, you're not just gonna learn some cute stuff, you're gonna like ES6,
like actual
cool features, like actual things that landed people jobs, or so they could make an income. And that's how we came up with the name. Like, we were in between Profit with JavaScript and Kick-Ass JavaScript for a while. And eventually we ended up like finally just going with Profit with JavaScript.
And then I think at that point, when we decided kind of the modules, we decided on the name. Then we all got together, we built a sales page. And this was the really cool part when I was like, oh shit, it is so awesome to be part of such an epic team. I remember together, Aaron, it was Frankie, you, right? We were all together. We were working on the sales page of this product, and I remember like it was like, you know, for hours and hours per day that we were working on this, and then we actually got into like, okay, let's launch this. Yeah,
we wanted to showcase what the product was, what it did for people, and like we made the sales page, which like, and we hadn't made the product yet. We had let everybody know the product is going to be coming soon. But we wanted to see if people would have any amount of interest, because if people had no interest in it, then we didn't want to like launch it and get behind it. We believe that it's something that could help transform people's lives, but if the people don't believe it, then it doesn't matter. Like, we didn't want to fall just in love with our product. We wanted to fall in love with our customers. So if our customers are not in love with something, that's not a place where we should be spending our energy, you know? So we launched this thing on,
how did we launch it?
Black Friday or something.
Black Friday.
Like that.
It was like last year. Black Friday.
Last year, yeah. It was literally last year. We just passed the anniversary. Bro, let's go! We just wanted to see how people would respond to it, and the response was fucking
amazing.
It was overwhelming. It was like, I woke up, I'm like, oh my God! Oh my God! I slept that night at WeWork.
Are you serious?
They frown upon that. But I slept at WeWork on a couch. Extremely uncomfortable. I used my jacket and the blankets that they have there.
Really?
I don't know if you probably were there. You guys were probably there. We worked our ass off and we went to sleep at WeWork. I woke up and I would check and I'm like, oh my God, another student joined. Oh my God, another student joined. Oh my God, another student. Oh my God. we were going crazy. And I remember in those days, we got, I don't remember the exact number, but I remember it was between like 100 to like 400 students that actually enrolled in the program.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay,
Holy shit.
this is real.
Yeah.
Nas, get ready to
Now
work
we
your
need to
ass off.
deliver.
We're gonna need to start executing and making these.
Yeah.
And that's when I actually, and a few days later, actually flew into Michigan.
Oh yeah, that was really interesting. And when we realized that holy shit, this is actually happening, that's when it became real. I remember you're like, bro, how about I just fly to Michigan? And why did you decide to fly? What was the reason? Why did I not fly? Why did you decide to fly? Oh, you were going to your parents' house, I remember, or you were going to your parents, you're like, I'll stop by your house at the same time, we'll work together. And then we're like, okay bro, let's build together, let's build modules together. Okay, I'm like, oh, let's do this. So he came over, now this time to my house.
I met Mama Demonsky, his mom.
Yeah,
she loves me.
Yeah, she's a pretty awesome woman.
I slept in his basement
I mean,
in like a little room.
don't make it seem that bad, bro. It's a pretty cool room. It's got everything. It's
a super dope room, and we made TikToks, and
Oh, yeah.
I started learning dancing.
The first 2 days, the first day that you were around, we were making TikToks the whole time, and actually epic TikToks, and we would make TikToks for students as well, like to actually have fun. Like, bro, we're working on the modules. That was a ton of fun, and yeah, we just kind of started. And then we went to WeWork. I remember this one day, we went to WeWork. We're like, okay, we actually now need to shoot the module. Yeah, we had a lot of fun, but let's actually shoot the module.
Yeah.
And then we went to WeWork. We actually got started.
We set up. We shot guess the number and like
Guess the number game.
bunch of the content at your house.
Module 2, I think module 3 as well.
Yeah, we would stay up till really late shooting the content at your house.
Yeah.
And then we like set it up like the blue light in the back,
Yeah.
and it was kind of nice. And then after that, we went to another important thing was a lot of the content and ideas we were coming
As
up
we
with
do
them
it, yeah.
as we were doing
Yeah,
them. It wasn't like we had it all planned out. The more videos we made, the more ideas we got of like what to make next.
Yeah.
And then the next day we woke up, I remember it was like day 3 or 4 or something, and then it was freezing cold,
Yeah.
winter, and then we went to WeWork to actually work.
And it's so interesting. I actually remember I was sick like crazy. I was sick at that time. Yeah, I was sick at that time. Like, and I'm just looking at my camera and I'm like, I look like I'm dying, man. I was looking at the camera like, holy moly. But yeah, we went to WeWork, and I think that day we just went straight into it. Like literally, we locked ourselves in one room, and we just started working, started recording. You got the Yeti mic. I think I had a Yeti mic as well, and I think we were at WeWork literally from like 2 p.m. I think 12 p.m.
Yeah.
And then when did we finish?
Midnight probably.
think-
Probably.
No,
even
bro.
later?
We went till the next day morning.
Oh.
Remember? We were like dying.
Oh yeah. It was like really awful.
Like sleep deprived like crazy.
Like it might have been the next morning, and then we met some dude who like was making an app for Instagram.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like we like literally, I think it was like till the next day we were like zombies. You know, after you stay up past a certain time, you go into this zombie mode where you're just like dragging on with
Yeah.
like zero energy, but like your body is still like moving and you can like
Yeah.
still do some stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were at that level.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then we kind of finished that up, and then finally kind of we went home, and they're like, oh shit. And then I think at that point we just kind of crashed at that point.
Crazy ups and downs we had while actually making this content for the course.
Yeah.
But the most important North Star for us the entire time for this product was transformation,
Yeah.
focus on the transformation. Don't focus on, you're gonna learn this thing and this thing and this thing and this theory and this theory and this theory and just like get up in it.
Yeah.
It was constantly like focus on taking somebody who takes it from point A to point B so they can get a job, or they can get freelancing work, or they can have an actual career. So that was important and very helpful North Star, because we could have
Yeah.
just got stuck making content that was just like more
And
information.
I think that's actually what made it more exciting as well to build it.
Yeah.
Because if you just build it just for the sake, for example, if you build like a Udemy course, and you just build it just for the sake, okay, I'm going to build this project, versus we're going to build this to actually,
Yeah.
to help people, to get them jobs, to get them freelancing jobs, whatever it might be. That just makes it so much more exciting.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. that is the course, well, you need to take, but that is the course that we would love to build.
Yes.
Or I would love to build as well, yeah.
Right. So that was the course that, like, you know, when I thought about it and we were like, okay, every single module is going to have an actual real world project. And we were kind of relentless about that. You know, we were like, make something, and we're like, no, like none of this stuff, you know. Like, we don't want to put the most basic stuff in there, like to-do list, and then the whole thing is over. You know, that's it, and then everything else is theory. So we were pretty relentless with it. We wanted to put the Google Maps project. We're like, hey, let's actually build full-on applications, like whether it's an Instagram clone or whatever it is. Like, let's make sure that we are building real-world things the entire time.
Yeah. And I think, of course, that was our goal. And I think at that point, once we started with that, then kind of the whole team got together. Then we did another launch, and then we got into coaching. I'm not sure how we got into coaching, but we got into.
remember.
Do you remember? How did we get into coaching?
I don't exactly
remember
know
how-
what made us want to do like
Yeah.
2 to 3 weekly coaching calls every
Yeah.
single week. I don't remember what caused that, but what I do remember specifically that was like crazy was I was sitting there and I was in my underwear and I was like on Slack and working, and I'm like, you know what? One of the best ideas you ever came up with was moving our team to Slack. And then also that made us move the customers to Slack.
Right.
We were in between Discord and Slack.
Yeah.
Slack was just a way better option by every single mean, because just a much better productive work environment, especially for coding. Discord was better for gaming. Also, we realized, I was like sitting there and thinking, and I'm like, how can we make the community self-sustaining so they can actually help each other? And that was the day we came up with the idea of Profit with JavaScript success coaches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that was something where it was like, holy crap, this has not been seen anywhere before.
Right.
You know, like no program has other coaches in there that are actually giving you video feedback on your code.
Like students who enrolled into the course now become coaches themselves and are coaching other people. Like, how cool is that? And that's awesome, because now you're coming from a point of like, people are coming from a very simple point of view, right? If you're someone who just learned, for example, JavaScript, right? You can now teach someone who is a complete beginner with a very simple manner, because you're still that beginner, partially beginner as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like how I explain it, like when you were in a math class and the professor wasn't making sense to what he was saying, but when you asked your buddy, who was like this dumb dude who's sitting right next to you, he was like, yeah, this is, you know, just carry over the one. You're like, oh my God, this algebra equation makes complete sense.
Yeah.
So your peers can sometimes actually do a better job. And we wanted to make sure it was students that were qualified to be a success coach. They were like the top performing students in the program. And we created a structure around where they can actually take your code or anybody's code, make a video feedback on it and send it back to you. So that started creating like a very revolutionary type of experience in the program. And that's the day the community started going to a whole another level. And it started to become like a experience where it was like family for them.
Yeah, it was like family. And I remember getting on calls with the success coaches and talking about like what can we do for the students, and talking about what type of coaching calls we can all do. Like it was awesome. Like it's literally like you're building almost like a university, but like a different type of, like 21st century university within this community.
Yeah, so the one thing that we actually didn't hit on is, I think probably the biggest breakthrough we ever had was the momentum of like actually creating a community before students even got into Profit with JavaScript that made it actually have an amazing community. So it was the first time we did a regular launch and we had a bunch of students enroll. So around April, we decided to do this like 5-day free Facebook challenge. JavaScript challenge. We told students we're going to build Google Maps and we were going to make like fun projects in there. And we had tons of people sign up. We ran this campaign on Facebook, and we had like 10 or 20,000 people register for the challenge.
50,000 people,
15,000. It was crazy. It was the biggest JavaScript challenge that has ever run in the world, unless I'm missing something.
It was crazy because I remember this is something new that we haven't seen ever before, and we got 50,000 people, and we literally the whole team were just working nonstop to just deliver value and just like have fun with it. Like I remember literally me and Aaron were literally like on a call together for like 10 hours straight on Zoom call, and this happened I think as well when COVID hit too, right? This is when COVID hit, right? So we were all kind of working a little bit remotely. And
COVID went ham in March.
COVID went ham then. And I would just remember like me, Aaron, of course, and the other guys, we all just working nonstop over Zoom, like to do this JavaScript challenge.
It was hard. I mean,
Yeah.
for a small team to put it together, like we are a small team. We still are. We were even a smaller team back then, and for us to be able to put together this challenge was absolutely a Herculean effort. It was like one of the hardest things we've ever had to do because we didn't know if it was going to be possible. We didn't know how we were going to get the money to run the ads we didn't know if it was going to make any money back.
Right.
We're like, we're just excited because it's going to change the world. Like, that's all. We're like, just going to create an amazing experience for people and maybe good things will happen. Let's just see what happens.
And it ended up being an amazing experience.
And it ended up being like one of the best experiences of our lives because we put ourselves through so much stress. But I remember we would be on that live and we would have 600, 700, 800 people live, sometimes over 1,000 people live watching. And it was crazy. And these people would be taking like Instagram stories and tagging us from their homes and their computers and like sharing it. And we would see the Instagram stories and we're like, oh my God, these are real people watching the challenge.
That was so cool,
I was like,
man.
oh,
I was
wow.
just like, I remember like to this day, I was like, Mom, imagine this. Imagine coding with 900 people together in one room. Imagine, this is literally what's going on, right? You're coaching and everybody is coding together. 800, 900 people are coding together and they're actually creating a project from scratch.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Like that got me so excited. I remember seeing all like people were tagging us in their projects. People were like tagging us, you know, literally there was someone who had like a humongous like 90-inch TV and we were on that TV, bro.
Yeah.
I remember that photo. That was insane, man.
Yeah, it
I
was
was
crazy.
like, oh my God, never but I've
all parts of the world. Like we had registrants from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
We had registrants from Korea, Tunisia, Turkey, Pakistan, United States, United Kingdom. We had people from like Egypt to Canada. We had people from France, Italy, Germany. Literally like these registrants from all over the world. And when they were sending us the photos, it was like one of the most humbling and fun experiences of our entire lives.
Cool. I think it made us even more excited to actually to continue. It made us even more excited to put even more time and effort into this.
Dude, I'm getting excited about the next challenge just from talking about this. Like I'm actually just genuinely
next
getting
challenge
excited.
coming soon.
We're about to do another
something
challenge
interesting coming up.
in the next few days. We're actually about to launch another challenge.
Yeah.
This one is going to be the biggest challenge that we've done yet. So I am so freaking excited. It's going to be crazy how we're going to be running this one. Like it's going to be
It's
absolutely
gonna take us
insane.
probably twice as much of like effort than even probably the first one, I will say.
Because for this one, we're freaking thinking to go all out. Like literally, we might be doing 2 to 8 hour long sessions.
yeah, we're gonna be dead, man.
Zoom, like everybody live
we're
on
gonna
Zoom.
die.
So we might, this actually might be really, really nuts. We're gonna be creating crazy projects. We're gonna have people dancing and laughing and crying.
Crazy workshops with a lot of amazing people. Like imagine, well, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it right now.
Like,
But-
it's gonna be fun. So this is gonna be super, super exciting. But we remember going back to March this year, the challenges were the things that really let us like communicate what's inside of this product.
Yeah.
Like it let us like explain what the family and community is like. By providing it for free on Facebook.
Yeah.
Now we can't sustain that forever because we need to be able to have a real company and we need to get everybody paid so we can have amazing people like Nas or Frankie or people who are running the community. So like we give them a free, incredible experience, the best that we could just from the Facebook challenge. And then when the students joined the course, then we continued it there. You know, so that gave us the best way to explain what this amazing product is.
And I remember it was so cool when we started doing coaching calls. On the first or second coaching call, I was like, you know what? How about we do some dancing together? You know, to this day, like all my life, I was like, how can I merge like these two passions of like dancing and coding? You know,
sick.
there was always on my mind like, how could I do that? How could that happen?
Yeah.
And here it was like we were on the coaching call. I think it was like 25 people at that point. Like holy shit, 25 people. And I was like, hey guys, how about we do some dancing?
Yeah.
And then we literally started doing some dancing, and people were pumped, man. Like, I was like, let's go. People were waving around their hands.
We used to get 25 people live on the coaching
25.
calls in Profit with JavaScript, and that was like crazy to have 25 people live, and it was amazing on the Zoom to see 25 human beings.
Yep.
Because even though I do YouTube and we do YouTube, you don't see anybody else. So it's still like you're talking to a camera, and then everything else is a number, right? So 25 is a lot.
Yeah.
How many do we get like now?
Now we get from 100 to 150, depending.
That's a lot of people in a room.
A lot of people in the
Every
That's a lot of
week.
people. That's a lot of people dancing, man.
There's a lot of people dancing.
Yeah.
And
And it's so cool. Now that portion of, like, for example, dancing, for example, now providing value through a coaching call, which is just a lot of fun indeed, just in general. But then actually dancing it out and having fun in the end,
yeah.
that also became such a big part of the product
Yeah.
that, like, I still to this day, like, students are telling me, like, let's do dancing every single coaching call, literally. And so whenever I'm like, guys, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? They're like, let's go. Like, people have like their lights in the background. People bring guitars, bro.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. And now it's become such a big part of it. Now like between the JS challenge, between, you know, the success coaches, between like the Slack community, how it all just came about is like so in a way a little bit like random,
Yes.
but almost
Through just like brutal amounts of work and
Yeah.
effort, like.
But then in the end, now it's like, now that is the reason why it is now.
It's like Uma Thurman in Kill Bill when
Yeah.
she's dead, when it starts and she's dead in a casket. She just starts punching her way through.
Yeah.
And then she like breaks the casket. Her hands come out of the grave, and she's like, It was kind of like that how this came together. We're like, holy fuck, there's so much work. We're being buried under the work. We can't possibly do anymore. We're gonna die under stress in the launch. Like, come
Oh my
on,
God,
come
man.
on, come on. And then finally we just like broke through the casket.
Yeah.
Our hand came up through the mud, and like we finally saw the light, and we came out and made it alive. And in the wake of it, had created something brilliant that was bigger than us, bigger than Nas, bigger than me, and it became a family. And now it's really, really cool to see like how much they care for each other. Like, there's no question that's ever unanswered in Slack. Like, there's gonna be somebody who's gonna freaking respond. They break off into their own groups.
Yep.
We don't even know about this.
Literally, I don't even know. Like,
I'm
apparently,
like, what are you guys
like,
doing?
when I talk to students, they're like, yeah, we got this.
We're
you
trying
know?
to stop them from collaborating. Stop.
they're like-
It's unhealthy. Go to sleep. Get some sleep. Stop coding.
We're like literally like as we talk to students, they're like, oh yeah, I got, you know, this guy and this guy and this girl and this girl. Yeah, we're kind of just like working every single day, and we literally have people. One of the guys told me, he's like, yeah, one of my friends from PWG community, he literally goes ahead and texts me every single day, hey, are you coding today? Did you code today? Did you code today? Like, what the heck, man? Like,
Yeah.
like that to me is insane. Like the amount of love that has created.
Yeah.
That's just
And we got amazing people like
Yeah.
David we got from the challenge. I remember
David,
Tatiana, Amanath, and
Yeah.
like all these amazing people. Jen, and there's so many like Rami,
Yeah.
like all these people that like came about and became part of the family. Some of them are now working at
Exactly.
Clever Programmer.
Exactly.
But like, man, that challenge in March, the challenge we did again, the challenge we just did now, like life-changing experience for us, for the people. It is so freaking cool, man.
Yeah, and I think for the most important thing is like, we just have fun with it. Like we literally have fun, and I realize is because we put our heart soul into this.
Yeah.
Like I mean, the whole team put their heart and soul into this, right?
Yeah.
This product now has a heart and soul. And
Yeah.
literally, yeah, exactly.
It breathes,
It
yeah.
breathes, like it breathes, you know. And so now it is what it is today, and like I'm just excited for where it's gonna go next, man.
Yeah. So super excited for where it's gonna go next. I can't wait. Like, dude, I'm so thankful to have you
Likewise,
on the
man.
team and for us to create this.
And you guys, of course.
Yeah. Bring it in, bro. Holy shit, this guy almost made out with me. He's been going out on too many dates.
Romantic setting.
Put a blanket underneath us.
We're under the fucking lights, you know.
Yeah. Pattern interrupt, you know? So, yeah, so basically, very thankful to work with him on this,
same
you know,
here, same
and
here.
made amazing progress. Like, a year ago, it didn't exist. It was just a twinkle in our eyes. now
It was an
it's
idea.
yeah, and now it's like this real thing that breeds, is a living or breathing organism.
And it has
how many members?
2,050, I think almost
2,500.
2,500?
I mean, what is
I
it?
think it's 2,100 students right now.
So about like 2,100 students joined this program. We love every single person in the community. These coaching calls are always amazing.
Yeah.
So it's really cool how it came together, and now it's something that is taken on a life of its own, and it's amazing. We say it so much that it sounds like we sound like a broken record, but just like these students getting these results, like people going from not having a job, like Rishi's was pretty emotional for me,
Yeah,
because I
Rishi's
saw
pretty cool.
on Instagram story him posting like how when he got a job, he was a beginner. He grew up in front of my eyes. I watched him grow up as a developer,
Yeah.
And when he got his job and he went from, I think, Ontario to Calgary,
Yeah.
and he drove and left his family behind. So like that was kind of sad.
Yeah.
But then when he went and he documented his journey, and then he got a job, and now he's excited to work there.
And now he's making 50K as a web developer, and like I actually talked with him yesterday. He's like, he loves his job, he loves what he does, and he's like, bro, it's all thanks to you guys. Like I'm like, I mean, bro, it's all thanks to, of course, your hard work. We're happy that we have helped you. We kind of guided you, but of course, at the end of the day, it was still your work, and we're just happy that you got the results that you wanted, man.
Yeah.
We're happy that you're happy.
So those are like Jen, who's like crushing it, went from a junior developer to a senior developer, went from 46K to 96K, 100K plus with bonuses, and then just so many other students. I'm sure you guys hear us talk about that all the time.
The coolest thing is at one point I had like a mom was on a coaching call, and she's like, Naz, I just want to thank you guys so much for what you guys are doing. I have my kids here who are 10 years old and 11 years old, and they're doing all the projects. They are on the coaching calls with me.
That's sick.
And literally, her kids literally like came on like on her lap. They were just sitting. They're like, oh yeah, it's so awesome. Just think, 11 years old, man,
Yeah.
coding and building crazy projects.
I mean,
How sick is that?
it's pretty crazy, but like it's, we have Srikar, who's like 13 and
Yeah.
landing freelancing clients, and we have Nasir, who's 14 and he's landing freelance clients. Like what? Who's teaching them to do this? Is it even legal? Are they even allowed to get clients? I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. But it's really amazing to see that. So those 11 years old, they need to catch up. They got some work to do.
Yeah.
Like imagine you're 11 and then you see like this other kid at 13 landing clients. You're like, fuck, like I gotta get my life together. Like what am I doing? Like I need to step up. So to the 11-year-old who's in our program, it's okay. You got time. You got some time. Be patient. We love you. You're still crushing it. So, I mean, to me, like when I'm on the coaching call with them, if those moments, I know what you're talking about. It made me emotional when I was watching it, because I was like, this is kind of really cool. Like he's gonna be inspired. He's gonna do something. Who knows? He's gonna make the next TikTok, or maybe the next thing that like crushes TikTok and then is like outgrowing it. Whatever it is that they do.
And then he might also teach others, right? So he'll pass down what we pass down to him. They will then pass down to others. And so now we're just creating. It's like a ripple effect, right? Of so many developers teaching each other, and just that's what makes it even more fun. That's what makes it even more impactful.
So, that's where we are.
Well, now I want to skip to now. And now, guys, we're in LA. I moved to LA, and now we're working on multiple different products.
We're roommates.
We're all working together in one place. We're having fun. We're out here in San Diego. It is beautiful. And honestly,
We'll see what happens. Like, I'm super excited. The trajectory is looking great. There's so many amazing challenges coming up for us in our lives, and like, we're excited to grow this product. We're excited to help a lot of people, maybe you watching it, become developers, whether it's with our free content on YouTube or in our course. Like, we don't care. Our goal is to help you get to that next level. So we just thought it would be cool to share our insights, what we learned from this experience, and just like document the story, because it's very rare to be with people who you call friends, you can call a brother, and then you guys also get some epic shit done and change the world. So I'm very grateful for that. I want to thank you for watching this and just being here with us and creating space for us. All I can say is I love you so much. Like the video.
subscribe.
It goes out to more people. Subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more heartfelt stories about coding.
Yeah.
And check out if the course is still open and available. Check it out and see what you think. Other than that, I love your beautiful face.
Love you too. Hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you
In the next
video. Hey.